Nepal, it's been very tragic there. Earthquake, they've had a tough couple of years. We're going to talk about them. First of all, let's talk about Vocab Voyage. This word list, you can get it for free for a trial, usually 400 yen. You get the story I got all these words from. You get a word list, English, Japanese. You get a test. You get the test marked by me, and you get a bunch of new words with English and Japanese definitions. And you can talk to me whenever you want, and surely that is a good thing. Back to the Nepal earthquake, a terrible earthquake. I didn't know Nepal had such a big population, in the 20 millions. I really didn't know that. So let's talk about Nepal. 30 words, starting with trauma. The trauma of the earthquake has caused a lot of distress in Nepal. Trauma is a feeling of panic, a feeling of worry. After something bad happens, you feel trauma afterwards. A lot of soldiers feel trauma when they return home from war. Continuous. The sunshine in Japan, in Sapporo, has been continuous for about a week or so. Continuous, easy. Zuto means non-stop, continuous. Continue, continuous. Aftershock. After the 3/11 earthquake, when I lived in Tochigi, we felt aftershocks continuously here for about 3 days afterwards, even longer. They were continuous. Yeah. Survivor. The Red Cross heard the cry of a survivor from under the collapsed building. A survivor is someone, there's been an accident, an earthquake, a disaster, someone who has lived, someone who has not died. Paranoid. Ever since his house got broken into, the man felt a little paranoid when he was home by himself. Paranoid is fear and worry. Usually, paranoid means unjustified. Yeah, that's from the last list. Unjustified. I get a bit paranoid about these dots on my arm. I think they're turning to melanoma. I just worry. So if you worry about something, you're paranoid. Treat. The Red Cross moved in quickly to treat the injured survivors. To treat is to provide medical attention for. If the dentist is treating my teeth at the moment. Okay. Psychotherapist. In order to deal with the effects of the trauma, many people need the services of a psychotherapist. Therapist, someone who provides treatment. Psycho is to do with the mind. So people have mental health problems, they see a psychotherapist that helps fix the mental health problems. Humanitarian. The amount of humanitarian aid that has gone to Nepal has been very encouraging. Humanitarian means helping people, to help people. There was a huge humanitarian response to the Ebola situation. People went in and helped other people. You can see human in there. Human is people, humanitarian, helping people. Agency. There are a number of agencies involved in the humanitarian effort, including the Red Cross. An agency is a setup, not a company, a group, an NCO. And they organize stuff and they get the money from the West and they buy stuff and they provide stuff. Agency. Strike. The locals of Nepal are always worried about when another aftershock will strike. To strike means to hit. If an earthquake strikes, it happens. If a hurricane strikes, it hits. To strike is like a disaster, it occurs. Memory. The man had a very bad memory of the earthquake as the building next door collapsed and killed his neighbors. A memory is something you remember. Okay, a memory is something in your head. I have many nice memories of when I went to Bali. Ravage. The storm waters ravaged the small town after all the inhabitants left. Ravage means to damage, to destroy. Floods and fires and earthquakes, they ravage something, they destroy it. Terrified. I used to be terrified of dogs, but I am no longer terrified of dogs. To be terrified of something means to be very, very scared. You can see in here, what can you see in here? You can see terrorists. Terrorists terrify people. Terror, terrified. It's all the same word, all mixed up. Belonging. When the tsunami hit Iwate, thousands of people lost all their belongings. Your belongings is your stuff, your car, your house, the stuff in your house, everything you own, the stuff, they're your belongings, the physical stuff. Damage. The damage from the Nepal earthquake has been severe. Damage is what the earthquake does. If a building falls down, that's damage. If rice fields are ruined, that's damage. That's a silly example. If a train falls off the track, that's damage. So stuff which is broken. Open. I am going camping tomorrow and I might sleep out in the open rather than in the car. Open means outside rather than inside. If you're in the open, you're outside. If you're not in the open, you're inside. When the earthquake struck, many people ran out in the open. Many people in Nepal are sleeping in the open at present. Iconic. Hello Kitty is an iconic symbol of Japan. Iconic means something which everyone recognizes. You think iconic for Japan, you've got geisha, you've got sushi, you've got Hello Kitty, you've got cameras round the neck when people are traveling. No. Iconic New Zealand, the All Blacks, kiwi fruit. Heritage. A lot of the heritage of Nepal has been damaged in the earthquake. Heritage is old stuff which is part of your history, part of your society, your culture. The heritage of Hokkaido, of Sapporo, you've got Hokkaido Jingu, that's a heritage, part of Sapporo's heritage. The clock tower, part of Sapporo's heritage. In Tokyo, you've got the Emperor's house. That's part of the heritage. It's the historical stuff, the stuff which is part of your culture. Impact. The impact of the tsunami when it hit the coast of Japan was worse than had ever seen before. The impact is so the impact is the process of causing damage. The impact is when something hits and it causes damage, that moment. Mobile. The challenge in Nepal has been setting up mobile hospitals to treat the sick and the injured. What's this? Rugby World Cup. Yeah. This is a mobile phone because I can take it with me. A landline phone, I can't take it with me. Mobile means you can move it around. deal. The mobile units are there to deal with sick people in remote areas. To deal with something means to take care of it. If you've got a problem, and if you deal with it, you solve the problem. Syndrome. Many people in Nepal are suffering from post-traumatic stress syndrome. Something bad happened and they're getting a lot of stress afterwards because they remember it. That's what a lot of soldiers have. A syndrome is a set of symptoms and a set of things which happen to you because of something. AIDS, we all know AIDS. Acquired immune deficiency syndrome. Lots of syndromes there. Stockholm syndrome. There's many syndromes. It's a set of things which show you it's like a sickness. Physical. The damage in Nepal to people is, rewind, the injury to people in Nepal has not only been physical but also mental. Physical means to do with the body, mental means to do with the mind. So physical is you break your arm, that's a physical injury. You have post-traumatic stress syndrome, that's mental. Exhibit. Many people in Nepal have exhibited signs of post-traumatic stress syndrome. To exhibit is to show. Think of a tenrankai, an exhibition, they're showing paintings. To exhibit, dorshi, is to show. Purpose. The purpose of the Red Cross in the remote areas is to treat sick people using their mobile vans. Whew, how many of the words did I include in that sentence? The purpose is your mokuteki. It's why you do something. It's the reason for doing something. The reason for doing something. Anxiety, fuan. Anxiety is the nervous, the panic feeling after some trauma. You're anxious, you're worried. I'm a little bit of an anxious guy sometimes. Otherwise, you best study English every day, otherwise you will not improve as fast as you wish. Otherwise means if you don't, means the other case. If you don't A, otherwise B. Okay? I'll put on a coat before I go out in winter, otherwise I'll get cold. Beside. Tonari. When I fell asleep on the field, my dog lay down and went to sleep beside me. Next to. Counsel. The psychotherapists arrived in their mobile hospital and started to counsel the patients who had been suffering trauma. To counsel is to speak to listen, to give advice. Okay? Legal counsel is legal advice. Normal counsel is to deal with mental health problems. Last word, heart. Not this heart. The heart is the center of something. I'm in the heart of Sapporo now, the center of Sapporo. The heart is the center of something. Much like your heart is central to your existence. Thank you very much. Out.